You watched me take my first breath, and I watch you take your last. By Diane Kirch, of Ballina 2478. Narrated by Rowena Robinson. I stroke your hair with my fingers and gently massage your head. I hold your hand, and you slightly squeeze mine. I kiss your face as my tears hit your cheeks. I speak softly and tell you I love you and that you are not alone. I'm not leaving you. I reminisce about my life with you in it, sharing our memories out loud, knowing you're listening, but cannot convey back with tangible words. I call to mind the memory of a trainee ambulance volunteer you bonked on the head with your hand because he wrapped a bandage up to your thigh after my pony stomped on your toe at the horse show. You were his first live learning experience, and you were not impressed. And shopping with you for a new dress. I set you up with the staff and customers to say how lovely you looked, making you try on hideous dresses to parade as everyone said, "Oh, it looks lovely," and you replied, "You must be all blind." The day your elastic broke and your undies fell to your ankles in a store, you stepped out of them and kept walking, with "nothing to see here" on your face. The day you tripped and we told you to get up, you old drunk, knowing you never drank alcohol or smoked in your life. We were playful at your expense, but you told us off, then laughed, once we got you up. The day you had your hair permed, but it wasn't holding, so you returned and demanded they redo it. So they did. But once outside, you realized you'd gone to the wrong hairdresser. And the day we attended a dog show with my Rottweiler and your Yorkshire Terrier, then realized Ruffles was still in his cage on your kitchen table, which was a 2-hour return trip to retrieve him. Our dogs were R and Y breeds, giving time to get back and win your class. As a child, you made the best cupcakes, cream toppings laced with sprinkles. You made the best ever jelly, cream and cake parfaits. We used long spoons to reach the bottom. You braided my long brown hair with ribbons. You held me in your arms when I miscarried yet another baby and shared our anguish because I wanted so much to be a mummy. I didn't seem to be able to hold a pregnancy until the day we watched your face of sheer joy as you held our miracle daughter in your arms. 18 months later, our little boy was in your arms. We shared overwhelming happiness. You, my beautiful mother, have always been there throughout my life. We've shared strong mother-daughter bonds. You understood my pain, shared my joys, and responded to my needs in ways I could never repay you for. Filling my pantry, buying flowers, laying turf on bare patches of lawn you knew bugged me, and buying outfits on special occasions. You'd say, "You can't wear that again." You delighted in seeing me happy. So many things you did because you had a big, generous heart. We all experienced deep grief, but after losing your parents, brother, then dad, you stayed strong, laying each to rest. You were well acquainted with grief. I cannot remember you ever saying anything. You stored grief in your soul. No one realized there was so much more grief you'd carry as we mourned the tragic death of your grandson. Then your youngest daughter, having to turn off life support, is the deepest kind of pain a mother must surely bear. That memory is ever sketched into me, watching you grieve for yet another child. The pain you silently carried was heartbreaking. And the day your only son died in front of you after returning from fishing, you helplessly watched. There was nothing you or the Ambos could do to save him. So I held your quivering body as you cried yourself to sleep. I felt the enormity of your grief and comforted as best I could, praying and singing for you. Your world seemed to stop from that moment, and you drifted into a deep despair. I believe this was the strongest trigger towards your journey with dementia. You needed a reason to get out of bed, so we purchased 2 fluffy white puppies, aptly advertised Shitty Poos, Shiatsu Poodle, as you were becoming more cranky. But this started a love affair as they slept on your bed and lap, never leaving you. We journeyed our life with you always in it, but as you started to forget things, we realized to keep you in the home you loved, I would need to be your live-in carer. I'm glad we made that choice, because the carer journey gave 7 years of constantly being beside you. Sometimes this was incredibly challenging, as I had to learn a new grief, an entirely different grief, the loss of someone living, whose personality had changed so dramatically. I lost my closest friend and confidant, but not our love. Sometimes caring for you was hilarious. You were so funny. And other times, what can I say? Anyone who has walked this dementia path truly understands. My daughter does, because she assisted me to care for her Nana. So I miss you deeply, Mum. I will grieve as I have grieved many losses in my life, but yours will be the most bittersweet. There will forever be a void in my heart. Your health deteriorated quickly. It was time to go to the garden room where family could come. I slept beside you as your life ebbed away. I played hymns, prayed, and told you how much I loved you, and not to be afraid because Jesus was holding your hand. You could trust him. God gave me the gift of journeying with you until the angels escorted your soul into heaven, my beautiful mummy. You watched me take my first breath. I watched you take your last. The end.